Hi friends, Teacher Rachel here today, and this week we are working on letter S. So in your bag you should have found a bag full of seashells. So I made some examples already, and I'm going to show you how I did them. So seashells is made up of two words, the word sea, which starts with an S, and the word shells that also starts with an S. So sea is S-E-A, and shells is S-H-E-L-L-S, seashells. So these are different types of seashells. I had to go around a few different stores to find them. I did get these at the 99-cent store, which was awesome. And then in your bag, there's also a package of this Model Magic for you to use, which is a air dry clay. So you can either make stuff with it and then squish it up and put it in a Ziploc baggie and use it over and over again, or you can make stuff with it, leave it out to dry, and make something that will last a lot longer. So you can either do a craft like one of the ones that I'm going to show you. You can make up your own craft completely, or you can merely just explore with these items. So you'll notice that your seashells all look kind of different. So some of them are going to be thicker and ridged only on the outside, and this one's smooth on the inside. This one is much, much thinner, and it's ridged both on the outside and on the inside. Sometimes you'll see these ones at restaurants with food inside. And then this one's kind of like a snail shell. It's pretty thick and hard, but it does swirl and you can see inside of it. And here I have a little tiny one that is broken, unfortunately, but it's still really pretty on the inside and has some brown and green and stuff on the outside. So here is one shell, and what I did was I actually painted this using some watercolor. So you can paint using watercolor, you can paint using your tempera paint, you can paint these using whatever you have around the house, or you can even take a marker and color on them, and you can give them as gifts to a loved one or friend, or you can also save them for yourself and just have a collection. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this one real quick. So I'm going to dip my brush into my watercolor. And since I did this one kind of blue and green, I think I'm going to do this one with some red. I think some red would be kind of cool. It does tend to look kind of pink because it is a watercolor red, but yeah, it's definitely kind of a pink. See, there's a lot of water. Let's see if I can get some more color on there. There we go. So it does look more like a pink, but that's still pretty cool. So I'm going to do some on this side. And then I'm gonna rinse my brush and get some yellow. Okay, put some yellow on. So yellow, and then maybe I will add some of the green on here. Let's see. Ooh, the green shows up nicely. Look at that. Ooh, it's very pretty. Okay. So I've got some red, some yellow, and some green on here. I kind of dig this pretty shell. So there's a shell. So you see, and then once it dries, you can pick it up and you can do what you want with it. You could decorate it, put some glue on there, put some glitter on there. Whatever you'd like. So this Model Magic stuff is really awesome. It dries and it's very, very light. You see this a lot used on YouTube. People do various crafts with these. So feel free to use it however you would like and whatever you think is going to be fun. I'm just going to show you a couple of ideas to do with it. One of them being taking an impression of a shell, and then one of them being making a shell or starfish yourself. So I'm going to take this one. I did an impression of this one last time and I painted it. I'm going to try it with this one and see how this looks. So I've got just a little bit of Model Magic and my shell, and I'm going to take my shell and I'm just going to kind of squish it on here like so. Maybe I squish it on the table so the back side is kind of flat. And then I'm just going to very carefully peel it off of my shell. It might be kind of hard. You might need an adult's help. Yeah, mine's sticking a little bit right there. No. Come on. Oh, yeah, so a little bit stuck on there. But that's okay. I think I can just kind of, ooh, it's real stuck on there. Just kind of there. Maybe use the top part here to give it a little bit of a ridged edge there. So see, I have Now you can kind of see the pattern for this shell on here, and then I can take, so I did grab out this, I do like this burgundy paint, but you know, I have a bunch of orange too, and I haven't used a lot of orange because it's not in my watercolor palette. So I'm gonna grab some of this orange, which is really bright, really bright orange. Dry off my brush real good, just a tiny bit. You don't need a whole lot. And look, it's orange like the shell. I didn't even plan that. And just because this isn't dry yet, I'm gonna do it very gently. If you wait till it dries, it's a lot easier to paint and handle. And it dries overnight for the most part, to paint at least. And then it takes 2 days for it to dry completely, depending on how thick it is. So here we go. Now I've painted my nice like imprint of a shell, kind of like a footprint, but with a shell print. Woo. So another thing I'm going to show you is how to make a shell, kind of like these snail looking shells, which snail starts with S, S-N-A-I-L-S, snail, with using this Model Magic. So I'm gonna take this Model Magic, I'm gonna kind of massage it around a little bit, squish it up and get it kind of moving, and then I'm gonna roll it into a ball using both my hands. Roll it round and round, or you can roll it on the table round and round and round and round until I get a basic ball shape. So here's a ball, and then I'm gonna put it down and I'm gonna start kind of rolling it back and forth on one side. So you see how one side is starting to get longer and skinnier, and the other side is staying kind of rounder and fatter. So now I've got this side getting rounder or longer and skinnier, and now I'm gonna start working on this side a little bit, but we don't want it to be too skinny because this is gonna be the bigger part of the shell. So going like this, keep working on it a little bit and see it get nice and skinny down here at this end. Kind of like a carrot, almost looks like a really long carrot. Now I'm gonna take the back end of my paintbrush, because see how there's a hole here? I'm gonna try to replicate that by taking the back end of my paintbrush and just kind of squishing it in there. See? So that kind of looks like a shell. So now I'm gonna take the smaller end and I'm gonna start curling it up. Start rolling it up. Can you see that? Just very curled. See, kind of looks like that. And it's gonna go round and round and around until you get all the way to the end, like so. And then if you look, I've got my opening on the back side. You can make it a little bit bigger. I can adjust it using the paintbrush or whatever you have lying around. And then I have my shell. Look at, see? That's pretty cool. And then I also made a little tiny one earlier, and you can go ahead and paint these and stuff too. So here I have a couple of shells I made by my hands, and then I also made this starfish using this modeling clay. So I'm going to take a little piece of that. Starfish starts with S, S-T-A-R, star, and then F-I-S-H, fish. So starfish is made up of two different words, star and fish. So now I'm gonna take my Model Magic and I'm gonna give it a little bit of a squish and I'm gonna work it all up together. And I am going to kind of start trying to make the points. So starfish have 5 points. If you look here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So I have kind of a round, flat piece right now. And I'm gonna take and cut 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna cut 5 times, kind of even, and then I'm gonna work on making my starfish's legs so that he has 5 legs. See? And I'm pinching them together and then kind of squishing them out a little bit. And I'm pinching them together and then kind of squishing them out a little bit. And he's not gonna be perfect, but he's gonna be mine, and that is what is important. So here I've got my little starfish, and then I actually just took, in order to give him kind of that texture, took the lid from my pen and just kind of squished it on there a little bit. You can also use a straw, works really well, especially if you still have some of those tiny red straws that we've been sending home, or really just about anything to give a really fun texture on your seahorse. You can use a toothpick, a chopstick, and so there we go. So that is my starfish. I think I accidentally called it a seahorse, but that is my starfish, and I'm going to paint him with my watercolors. And I think I'm going to go ahead and paint him green. I really like this green color. It's almost like an emerald color, so I keep using it, but I think I'm gonna paint him green. And then you can see all his little scales and stuff pop up. There we go. All right, and that is how you make a little starfish. So again, I've sent home all these materials. There's no right or wrong way, but I would love to see what you come up with. So please feel free to send me lots and lots of pictures of what you have created. You know, whether you did one of the ones I've shown or you come up with a whole new activity on your own. So I'll see you next time.